so proud today to have with us one of our American heroes. Bart Conner has been on every major U.S. gymnastic team for the past 5 years. Here to talk about one of the 6 men's events in gymnastics, the rings, is Bart Conner. Did I say that right? There's 6 events? Yeah, that's right. I was amazed to find out, Bart, that really competing in the rings is fairly new to you. You've done all the other things first.
Well, actually, I have competed in the 6 events for quite some time, but rings has sort of taken on a new meaning for me. I had trouble with my shoulder, and then I tore the bicep muscle about 6 months ago.
Gee.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, and I did it in the Olympic trials, and had surgery the next day, so I wasn't quite sure whether I'd be able to do rings again, because that is a major muscle used.
But now you're stronger than you ever were.
Actually, I can't even believe it, to tell you the truth, because I've spent a lot of extra time in the rehabilitation, and the strength's back, so it feels pretty good.
Now, we have high school teams that are working on tumbling and floor exercises and many of the other events. Can rings be done by other people? Do we have to look like you to be good at this?
No, I don't really believe so. In fact, I started when I was 10 years old, and we have some younger boys here today who are going to show us a little bit of what you can do in the fundamental stages of gymnastics and sort of learn the progressions at a very early age when you don't need a lot of physical strength.
Great. Why don't you bring them out?
Okay. Here's our 2 little guys today. Jason Stout is 11 years old, and he's from Norman, Oklahoma.
Hi,
at the
Jason.
Gymnastics Chalet.
Nice to
and
see
also
you.
Adam Foreman. Adam is from the Flippers Gym School
Adam, how are you?
in Garland, Texas, and he is on the junior national team and 13 years old now. He's been in gymnastics about 6 years.
6 years? Well, you must know what you're doing.
Well, I had to lay off for the past year because of injuries to my knees and my heels.
Really?
But
Nothing permanent, I hope.
no, I'm easing back into it right now and
It's wonderful.
hope to attain a competition.
You guys look so trim. You look like you're ready for it. What can you show us today?
Well, we're going to have these guys show us some of the fundamental things, the first few things you should learn when you're doing still rings. Rather than showing just competitive gymnastics, I think it's important for people to see some of the things that you learn in the early stages of gymnastics when you're young and when it's still fun.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll get out of the way.
Get a little chalk over there, Jason. We'll take a turn. Jason's going to show you a couple of the basic swings on rings and a couple of the fundamental hold positions.
All right.
Jason? Okay, from a nice hang tight position. Okay, he pulls to an inverted hang, and then what we call a skin the cat position, and holds down. Okay, and then pull back to inverted hang, and take a few swings under the rings. Now this is a fundamental under swing. And then do a trick, what we call the inlocate, just like that. Very simple.
Whoa.
Very good. Okay, now Adam's been doing rings especially a little bit longer than Jason, so he has a few more skills that'll bring him up above the rings, what we call a back up rise. First he'll do the inlocate, like Jason did.
Oh. Oh.
And then back up rise above the rings. That is, of course, the handstand position, very fundamental skill. And you come back below the rings and do what we call a dislocate to a flyaway.
Whoa. Whoa. Nice. Gee, that's great.
Jason is also going to show you the back up rise from an inlocate. Very good. There it is.
All right.
Back up rise. Good. Very good. L. And then down. 2 swings and a flyaway.
All right.
Now, since Adam has spent a little more time at this, he's going to show us a trick, what's called a shoot to handstand, where you swing forward, you turn over backward, and hopefully catching a handstand. It's kind of a new trick for him, so I think he could pull it off.
Okay.
Let's go at him. That's it. Go.
All right.
Very good. This is called a straddle. And that's a shoulder stand.
I see.
There's a front giant swing back to shoulder stand. Very nice.
Gee.
And then his dismount, another flyaway, a little bit higher.
Well, I would love for my son to get in. I'm sure everybody watching a love for their kids to get into this. It seems so great for their bodies, for developing, and for the control and the balance and the agility. It's just fabulous.
It is a great sport for young kids because they can do a lot of things. It's not necessarily a team-oriented sport. The challenge is just within them, and it's good for a lot of kids who don't necessarily like to play just football or just soccer. They can do something that's very personally challenging.
Sure. Bart, can we close this off by you showing us something? What are you about to do?
Okay, I'll show you part of my optional routine.
All right. While you get chalked up there, I'll talk about it a little bit. This routine you would do for exhibition or as well as competition, possibly?
This is basically an exhibition routine.
I see.
Part of it will be what I use in a competitive competition.
I see. What did you just do?
That's saluting the judge before you perform.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you. You've been on our show several times, and every time you come back, it is so exciting. And thank you to Jason Stout, right? And to Adam Foreman. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Good job, you guys. Talk about that around the dinner table tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Bart Conner. We'll be right back after this. What an international audience we always have. We usually have people from Bakersfield and Van Nuys and